everyone, and Happy New Year's, guys. I hope that you guys had a great New Year's holiday. I have been gone for some time. I am now getting over a cold that has been lingering for over 2 weeks now. And you just have to kind of bear with me because I'm pretty sure you can tell by the sound of my voice that I'm still quite nasally. I've got some sinus things going on in my ears, so it's just pretty much a hot mess. So, not a hot mess. It's just a mess because there's nothing hot about this. So today, I wanted to do a get ready with me. I've gotten a few new things that I have been meaning to talk about in videos and kind of just share with you on camera. I have not been feeling very well these last few weeks. Unfortunately, Christmas was really bad physically for me because I was really sick. That was probably one of my worst days. And of course, the new year. So I haven't been able to play with a lot of these things and do videos. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do basically a full face. I've got some little bit of redness going on, some breakouts, which can't really do anything about it because I'm pregnant. So I'm just going to kind of let it do its thing and just move on from it. So I think I want to try half on my face with the Hangover Primer, which is hydrating. And then on the other side, I think I'm going to do the YSL Touche Eclat, however you pronounce it. It's the illuminating primer with actual gold flecks in it. Silicone-y feeling, this one from YSL, and I'm going to do this on this side of my face. And then I'm going to do the Hangover one on the other side. So one is clear, and then one is more white and creamy. Alright, so the foundation that I'm going to be using is the Boots No. 7 Beautifully Matte Foundation. I have seen Marlena from Makeup Geek talk about this as being one of her favorites for oily skin and just in general a really good foundation formula. So I decided to give it a try. It's a Velvet Matte Perfection finish, so I like the whole velvet idea. I'm thinking maybe more kind of velvety, kind of satiny type of finish, not so quite drying. That's the hope. And it has an SPF of 15. And it's also hyperallergenic. I have it in the shade Warm Ivory. I'm not quite sure if this is even going to work well for my skin, but we are going to try it. Okay. Was able to get one pump out, and that's it. Okay. I do like the packaging though, because this thing will sort of move as you use it so that you can kind of see how far you've got left before you need to repurchase. And I think that's a good idea for foundations to be that way, or like clear bottles that have that where you can actually tell. So have any of you tried anything from this brand? This is my first time trying this brand. I want to try different brands this year and expand my range of brands and not necessarily stick with just what you can find on Ulta and Sephora. From this brand, let me know in the comment section. So I'm using my Morphe sponge. It's been dampened, and it's also been wrapped in my paper towel to get all the excess moisture. I use the flat edge of it to really pounce the foundations into my skin. So let me get a mirror. I feel like I've blended this out as best as I can. It's not entirely full coverage because you can see a little bit of that, but that's usually my problem anyways with most foundations. So honestly, I feel like this blended out quite nicely over both primers. I don't really feel like any one side is any particular difference as far as one looks a little bit more poreless, one more hydrated. I feel like they both honestly look the same. I think it's going to come down to the way it wears throughout the day. So far, I would say my first impressions is this is really good. I hope that it lasts really good on me. You know what? I think I'm going to skip concealer right now because the James Charles palette does have a little bit of kick up and it does have fallout. But I did get some new sponges from Real Techniques. This pack, the 4 mini Miracle Complexion ones, says a new look. It's a 4-pack. I have the lightest pink color to kind of match my nails, sitting in a paper towel. But I'm going to use this for my concealer. So moving on to brows, I picked up a pencil. I went looking through the drugstore to find a thin brow pencil that is comparable to the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, because I am out of my micro brow pencil, and I found this one by CoverGirl. I have it in the shade Rich Brown, and it matches the actual tone of my brow hairs pretty well. And I've used this a few times, and so far I have been enjoying it. So I'm going to use a spoolie side first. And the reason why I got the dark shade, I was going to go with soft brown, but I wanted it to match my actual brow hairs. So I'm going to lightly go through the brows and kind of fill in most of the areas that I need the most product. And then I'm going to go over it with my tinted brow gel, which I always use ever since I bought it. It's the one from Milk, the Kush Fiber Brow Gel, and I have it in the shade called Dutch, which I think is the middle shade or maybe even the darkest shade. So I'm going to go over it, over the brows with this. And this is just going to help fill in any other little areas. This brow gel is extremely pigmented. It's the best brow gel that I have ever used. So if you're looking for one that is pigmented and it's easy to apply, check it out. You can get it at Sephora. So for the eyes, I'm going to start with the Fenty Beauty Primer. This is in the Pro Filt'r. And I think the shade is Invisipink. I think it's only one color. In fact, I did go overboard, per the usual. And it's just a basic primer that has a subtle kind of tacky feel if you've never used it before. And I like using primers to prevent creasing because I do have oily lids, but also it intensifies the colors and it just makes everything look so much better. Alrighty, so we are digging in to this bad boy, which this is of no surprise, you probably have seen this. And it's a really great palette. It's really pigmented. To me, it feels very high-end, very high quality, which I like. So I'm going to go in with the lightest shade, which is called Canvas, which matches my skin tone. And I'm going to go over that primer just to make sure that I don't have any tacky feel left over. And I'm going to go in with the shade right below that. It's called Punch Me. And it is just a very basic light tan shade. This is the transition color, which is going to help me with blending later on. And I'm going to put most of it on this outer corner and then blend it back and forth. My Rabbit Rosé, she has a lot of energy. She's a Netherlands dwarf, and she's literally jumping in the air. She's just showing off because I'm in the room. So that just blended out quite nicely, and I really do like the way these work. These eyeshadows are really good. I think it's $39 for this entire palette, and it's, I think, a good price point. It's a little bit more than some of the other Morphe palettes, but you do get a large range of color, and then you have these really huge pans in the very center. I'm going to switch to the Morphe M506. This is a brush that I think everybody needs to own, regardless of the size of your eyes. It's perfect for outer crease work. And I'm just wiping it off to make sure there's nothing on there because I haven't cleaned my brushes in a while. Okay, so I want to add a little bit more depth to the eye, and I think I'm going to go in with this one called Boutique. Is that what it's called? No, it's called No Beans. Sorry, it's one of the larger ones. It's this one right here. I'm going to apply most of it on this outer corner here, on the lower lid. So after this, I'm going to film the next pregnancy update because I've got quite a few weeks to catch you guys up on, and I'm making a list of pregnancy types of videos, not just like my symptoms per trimester, but also like newborn essentials, things that I'm buying, the nursery. Once I decide exactly what I want to do, I have a couple ideas going in my head. I've got some time, but you know, I would like to kind of take care of that before it's too late, especially if I need to kind of custom order anything. So once the spring hits, we're going to do a lot of like major declutter and cleaning in this house. I'm going to be swapping rooms as well because this room is quite large. And because my son is now officially 6 years old, I'm going to make his room the bigger room out of all the guest rooms, and do like a sitting area with a couch, like a mini little couch for him, get him a TV going, really set it up quite nice for him. And then to highlight under the brow bone, I'm going to use the white shade that's called Flashback, and I'm using a MAC 239 brush to go right under the brow. Oh, that's a pigmented white. Real nice. Then for the lids, I'm going to use this color called Face, which is in the larger pans, and I've used this as my face highlighter before. It's really, really pretty. You could use any of the other shades if you wanted to. I'll show you, like this light pink is really beautiful. This one is quite nice. It's a little lighter, more kind of goldeny, and this is more of like a champagne. You could do like this gold, which I've done. This is a beautiful shade. There's another gold further down as well. I mean, there's so many different options. You can mix a couple shades, and I'm using a MAC 239 to apply this onto my lids, just because I kind of want a little bit of a sheen on my lids. This is optional. And then right where that color meets the dark shade, I'm just going to kind of tap back and forth until they kind of blend together. And that's it. Super easy. Moving on to concealer. Before we add eyeliner, I need to do eyeshadow on the lower lash line just a little bit to kind of ground this whole entire look down. And I'm going to use the Born This Way concealer in the shade Vanilla from Too Faced. I'm going to go on with the Real Techniques. These are so cute. And I decided to buy these because this one, as you can see, it's quite large, the Morphe one, and sometimes I have to kind of pinch it to get it in there. It's not that big of a deal, but if I could solve that little bit of a problem or issue by getting one that's smaller, Beauty Blender makes one as well, then I feel like it's all good. So I'm going to take it. Oh yeah, see, this fits like perfect right in this inner part here, and hopefully, actually there wasn't too much of a fallout on this one. Very good. Super impressed. And then you can use like the flat edge as well to kind of go in here and go up this way to kind of sharpen that line, which I just did. Looking fancy, huh? Okay, so the powder that I have is from Boots number 7. It's the Translucent Perfect Light powder. This is the loose version. They have a pressed powder. It's a light diffusing powder, hypoallergenic, and has vitamin E and pro-vitamin B5 to care and condition skin, and hyaluronic acid to keep skin hydrated. It comes with a little puff, and I got to peel this little paper. When I peeled that back, some of it kind of came out through this little sifter. I'm going to use my little sponge here to kind of pick up some powder and just set this before the concealer creases on me. And this was the last one in the display at my local Target, so I don't know if that means that it's a good one. Hopefully it's not that they're discontinuing it, because that would be really sad, discovering something good right before it's gone. Bigger sponge to apply some to the rest of my face, just lightly, just to see, but I don't feel like I need a whole lot. I just want to set wherever I had a little bit of extra concealer, and then why not? Alright, so to finish up the lower lash line, I'm going to go ahead and take the Morphe E36, which is a really tiny like pencil brush. I'm going to go in with the same dark shadow that I use in the outer corner, and I'm going to apply this right down here. Most of it right on this outer kind of third of the eye, and then just blend whatever's left on the brush towards the inner corner. And I think I want to add a little bit of extra darkness, so I'm going to go in with the darkest brown. It's called Benny, which is more of an espresso kind of color. If you wanted it really dark, you can go with black a little bit, but I'm going to go with the espresso color. smidge right in here. And I'm just going to kind of blend that out. Soften those edges with that same little pencil brush. Alright, so for liner, I'm going to use the Tartiest liner in Burgundy, and then mascara, I'm going to use this little sample size that came with an order from Ulta, and this is the Urban Decay Perversion. It's been years since I've used the Perversion mascara. This came with an order back in, I think, November when I bought some Christmas gifts. I'm going to do this and then kind of report back on what my thoughts are because it's been a long time. I remember liking this. I think I remember it being a positive experience, but my L'Oreal Lash Paradise has kicked the bucket, so now I have to bust out a new one. But I do want to try this first. But this Tartiest pencil, it's a liquid on one side and a pencil on the other, so I'm going to use the pencil side to tight line a little bit. Let's do my normal liner with this side. Alright, so far I've done a pretty thin line. From a distance it still looks really dark. I really don't think that there is a distinctive difference between this and if you're looking at it, it looks like it's black, which sucks because it's not what I wanted. I wish the Tarte would have made this a little bit brighter. I don't know. It's just not what I thought. But we're still going to make it work. Alright, so liner mascara is done. The liner, it looks black to me. The actual pencil portion, which is the other end, does look more burgundy and more kind of reddish, which is what I wanted. And you can see that in the lower lash line. And as I get close, you can see it in my upper waterline. But the actual liquid itself is quite dark. It almost looks black. So not really thrilled, but I'm still going to use it because I throw away the box. It's not like I can return it anyways. I did apply the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, and honestly, I feel like it did nothing for my lashes. It's fine for the lower lash line. I feel like it defined everything, but I'm missing that thickness, that volume, that length that my L'Oreal Lash Paradise gives me, which is why I always stick to that one and never really deviate too much because I'm always disappointed. And this, sadly, is a bit of a letdown for me. So I'll use it for the lower lash line, but I will go back to my Lash Paradise, which I have a new tube ready to open up. I'm going to go in with some bronzer and blush. I'm going to use the Real Techniques 400 brush, which is the blush brush. It looks like this. It's like a soft pink color. I saw that at Target and I thought, you know what, let me try it because I've been wanting to try more of their face brushes and I haven't gotten around to it. So I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury, the Instant Look in a palette. This is in the Smokey Eye Beauty, and this is what I've been using since I bought it. You can't even see the names printed anymore on some of them because I just love this. And I'm going to kind of zip through this so I don't take up too much time. But I'm just going to kind of bronze my normal area, and I love this brush. It's such a good brush. I'm also going to take that and go under here and kind of chisel my jaw out because Mama's gained over 20 pounds already. So gotta make it look a little kind of slim, you know. The actual pink blush, which is here in the pan, is matte. But then the one above it, number 5, has a bit of a sheen to it. And I put that on the apples of my cheek. And then for highlighter, I'm going to use the same eyeshadow that I have on my lids from the James Charles palette. And I'm going to apply that with my small taper brush from e.l.f. Alright, and then for lips, I did it off camera. My favorite combo is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. This is my most favorite lip liner of all time. I discovered it probably about a year ago or so, and this lives in my purse. I use it every single time I put my lip products on before leaving the house. I can use this to overline my lips. I can fill them in. I could just wear this on its own, and it is the most perfect color ever. If you haven't tried that, that's definitely one of the items in this video that I would suggest that you highly try and pick up. You can get it at Nordstrom or online. I think also Sephora started carrying Charlotte Tilbury. Then I went over it with the Fenty Beauty. This is the Fenty Glow Gloss Bomb. It's the Universal Lip Luminizer. And it's a shimmery, glossy, kind of peachy pink color. It goes really well with it. This also lives in my purse. These two together are like heaven. So, so good. And that, my friends, completes the entire look. We are done, start to finish. Pretty easy. A little bit of a disappointment with the liquid liner and definitely mascara. A big thumbs down for me. Honestly, I would just not even recommend it. Buy the L'Oreal one, which is half the cost anyways, and you'll be much happier, I promise. But everything else worked out really good. I'm really surprised with the foundation. I really like the way it looks on my skin. And I'll kind of report back on how it works throughout the rest of the day as I wear it, as I film more videos and do stuff around the house, and see if my skin gets oily or if it actually does hold up and keep that kind of velvety finish that I see on my skin right now. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I know it was quite long of a video, but I wanted to kind of chat with you guys. It's been a while, and just kind of share some tidbits throughout the video with you, and then try some new things and give you my first impressions. So I appreciate you so much for tuning into today's video, for watching, for being here, for being you. Have a fabulous 2019, and I will see you guys in my next video.